Hey, hello. Okay, that was awkward. Let's do it again. What's up? No. Whatever. No intro. Who cares? Anyways, I'm not fancy enough to be on Genius Lyrics, so we're gonna make our own version of it, and we're gonna talk about movie and all of the fancy, funky, not so cool, teen-friendly, dumb pop lyrics that are included in there. So yeah, hopefully I edit this in a cool way that is not cringy, even though I am a very cringy person. I had the idea for this. It was April of last year, so literally like almost a year ago. And I was FaceTiming with Yanni, who is my best friend, videographer, photographer, creative director, all that good stuff. We were FaceTiming, talking about how crazy life was. The pandemic had just started, and we were just talking about how everything has changed in a matter of days and weeks, and how the stuff that we used to see in movies are now happening to us in real life. And I think I also have seen Contagion with my family a couple days before. And so it was in that vibe of like, oh my God, life is like a movie. This is crazy. Like this happened in the movie and now it happens in real life. Holy, crazy. So I said this, I was like, oh my God, life right now is like a movie. He was like, yeah, right. And I was like, oh, wait a second, that sounds like a cool song idea. Then he was like, yeah, totally. He thought it was funny, but whatever. It was funny. And so after the call, I just went on YouTube. I found a random like chill type lo-fi beat thing. And I wrote the chorus over it. And that's how the chorus came together. And I was really excited about it because I was like, okay, this is funky. This is groovy. This is cool. This is catchy. And it went, here it is. Life right now is a movie. Yeah. Where's the soundtrack was groovy? Too bad I'm frustrated, I'm moody. Yeah. Just need a happy ever after. Everything got changed overnight, and I wanted to go along with the theme of everything being written in like these movie analogies and metaphors and like film jargon. So I was like, oh, I wish the soundtrack was groovy, because every movie has a soundtrack. And then at that point, I think everyone started to realize that this was gonna go on for a while. So that's why it said like, I'm frustrated, I'm moody, just need a happy ever after is really, this hope that we still have a year later, like everything that's going on. I just please tell me that in the end, things are gonna be okay and go back to the way it was. Guess this was kind of fun when it all started going down. Walking around in PJs, nap on the couch, watching TV all day and spending time inside the house. Yeah. There's this trend on TikTok now that I've seen. TikTok, teen friendly, where people are like, oh my God, I'm so nostalgic for a year ago, for like the first, literally the first few days or weeks of quarantine. And that's kind of what that verse is about. In the beginning we were like, oh my God, how cute and funky and like quirky it is that we get to just like spend our entire days in PJs and take our Zoom calls and work calls and from bed. Like how cute, how fun. And we were like really all about it because we thought it was just going to be a few weeks and we're going to be over it. So everyone welcomed that sort of that break, and it was really fun. The honeymoon period of quarantine and how it was fun and no one really knew what was coming. Said it is all gonna be over by the end of May, but here I am, a face mask every day. The way this year is turning out a Michael Bay cliche. Yeah. So you have to remember, I wrote this a year ago. So when I wrote it in April, I meant May 2020, said that it was all going to be over in May 2020. And the freakiest, most eerie thing about the song is that 1 year later, it still applies. We're still like, summer, this like promised land, this promised time when we hope things are going to be over. And it's a year later. I really thought I was going to have to change the name of the month when I wrote it, because I was like, yeah, this is going to be over. By the time this is out, May is not going to be relevant. I'm just going to pick a different month. And then it wasn't. And the first half of the verse is like all rosy and fun, how it was in the beginning. And then the second half of that verse is, things are really starting to sink in, and we're realizing that we're in it for the long haul, and now it's starting to get really annoying. We are still wearing face masks. This is not an anti-face mask thing. You need to wear your mask, but I'm just saying, we didn't expect it to be that long. And then I ended that line with saying that the way this year is turning out is sort of like a Michael Bay cliche. Michael Bay, the movie director, the cheesy action movie director. Because there were just so many crazy things that happened in 2020 and even now are happening this year that it seems like completely bonkers. Funnily enough, Michael Bay, my man, releases a COVID-themed movie. But it was so funny because in that movie it's like super post-apocalyptic. It's like COVID-23 and there's like a perpetual lockdown and the virus mutates, and of course it has a stellar 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I was like, ha, funny, that line is proving to be more true than I thought it was at the time. We used to see all this on Netflix, cheesy action flicks. Now you and me are living in it. And that is literally just describing, you know, how all the stuff that is happening now to us, like all the toilet paper shortage and empty shelves at stores and people being in lockdowns and everyone wearing masks and waiting in line to get vaccinated. All this crazy stuff is stuff that we used to see in movies on Netflix, and now we are starring in it. Now this movie is our life. Can I speak to the director of life? Think he made a mistake with his design. This was supposed to be a comedy, not an apocalyptic tragedy. Everybody on the set is confused. This used to be fun, no, we're not amused. Cast and the crew demand to be removed. Yeah. I think this is the most fun I've had writing lyrics because I just really wanted to just really hone in and drive home that whole idea of living inside of a movie and using all of the different parts that go into creating a movie. I had like a couple of different versions of the movie where this was the pre-chorus, and then the final version of it ended up being sort of like a Frankenstein of all these different versions, and I was like playing around with the pieces and where to place them. And I speak to the director of life, think he made a mistake with his design. This was supposed to be a comedy, not an apocalyptic tragedy. You know, we all were so used to living in a world where, you know, even though there are, you know, terrible things happening, it still doesn't affect us on such a planet-wide scale, if you will. You know, you're aware of these things, but it's never as dramatic and impactful as this pandemic was. Everybody on the set is confused. This used to be fun. No, we're not amused. You know, everybody on the set being us, the people living on planet Earth. You know, life used to be fun, used to be exciting. We didn't realize horrible things like this could happen, and now here it is. Now we're not amused. Cast and the crew demand to be removed. So we would like to please ask this pandemic to end because we're done living in this crazy ass movie. Live right now is a movie. See you next time on The Actual Genius.